Hi there. In this video, we're going to be constructing linear functions. So when we're talking about functions, all right, we want to talk about the relationship between x and y. So in this linear relationship, we have x values. Now, another word for x value is the word input, okay? And input correlates with the y value word output, okay? We also have independent variable, independent and dependent, all right? So what I want to do is talk to you guys about how these things are related. And what I'm going to do is give you a real world example that's happened to me so that I can show you exactly how this works. Now, it's kind of embarrassing, but I'm going to share with you what happened to me with my cell phone plan. I got an iPhone back in 2008 and had unlimited data. And so for a number of years, I was paying an outrageous amount of money per month for my cell phone. So it's embarrassing to say this, but in my old plan that I had for about 12 years, I was paying around $100 per month for my cell phone. Now, I called my cell phone provider and I was able to make a deal, get more stuff, more bells and whistles, but I am now paying $50 a month. Okay, I'm really excited about this. Okay, now when I talk about this cost per month, each of these are what we call rates of change. And a rate of change is a comparison of two values, okay? So in this case, comparison of two values. So in this case, we are comparing with my cell phone plan cost and month, all right? And we use the phrase cost per month. So anytime that you see the word per, all right, that is going to be your a rate of change. All right. Now, in this case, what I want to talk about is identifying what my x value is and what my y value is. All right. Now, one way that you can always do this is that your first number, when you're talking about rates, is your y value, and the second thing that you're talking about is your x value. Okay. So that's one way you can do it. So let's say this. Let's write out that x represents the month and that y represents the cost. All right. And here's what we can say. Remember that x is your input. It's also called your independent variable. Y is your output. And we're also going to call that our dependent variable. Now, one thing that I want you to think about is which one depends on what. Okay, in this case, we have that the cost would depend on how many months go by. Okay, and so that's the idea. All right. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to make a table of values. Okay, and I'm going to make this be x and y. And remember, this is months and this is cost. All right. And so what I know is that on 0 months, okay, I've paid $0. Okay. After 1 month, I've paid a total of $50. After 2 months, I add another 50 onto that, and that's going to give me $100. After 3 months, that's $150, and after 4 months, that's going to be $200, okay, which is a vast improvement of my old plan, okay, as you can see. So, but what I want you to see here is that when I have this rate of change, as x increases by 1, all right, my y value increases by 50. Okay, and so what I can say is that when I'm trying to find my rate of change, in this case, all right, I would take my change in my y value, which is 50, and divide it by my months, which is X, okay? So that would be $50 per 1 month. All right, and that's how we calculate our rate of change. So we can look at a graph here to show that, all right? Now, this isn't going to change. So my rate of change is $50 a month. That's not going to change, all right? This is constant, all right? So this is what we call a constant rate of change. I'm going to do ROC for that. And a constant rate of change means it's not going to change, all right? And if I were to go through and take these values and plot them on a graph, let's just go ahead and do that, where this is months and this is cost, all right? And if these months go up by 1, 2, 3, 4, and my cost goes up by 50, so 50, 100, 150, 200. All right, what I've got here is I can then plot these points. All right, so I've got the point 0, 0. After 1 month, I've paid $50. After 2 months, I've got $100. 3, I've got $150. And 4, I've got $200. And what I have here is I have this thing called a linear relationship. And what this creates here is a line. Okay, so as long as my rate of change doesn't change and it's constant, we're just going to have a line like so, okay? Now, the last thing I want to talk about here is this thing called an initial value. And initial value means what is the y value when x equals 0. So in this case, what you do is you can look at a table and say, all right, well, what's my initial value? On month 0, what's my cost? And in this case, it would be 0. So I'm looking for when my x value or my independent variable or my input is 0, and what's the corresponding dependent variable, output, or my y value at that time. So I can look here, or I can simply look on the graph and see where does my point lie on the y-axis. Okay, in this case, it's 0. So that's all I got for this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk soon. And we'll see you in a bit. Thanks. Bye.